3. All right. Hello, my name is Carl Amir Tobias from CC Year 3. I'm from Batspa University, and today I'll be showing you the machine learning model that I created regarding cryptocurrency mining profitability. Right, so before I show you the actual model, let me just give you a rundown of the code. Right, so the first thing I did was import all the modules that I needed, like pandas, Gradio, and whatnot. Right, the next thing I did was to import from the API that I used, which was from What to Mine, and they have this JSON file. They have a website that changes every 5 minutes, I think. So it's a live API, and with that, with a JSON file acquired, I put it into a data frame using pandas, as you can see here, and I printed the data so that I could see what the info had, like this. So it had all of these data inside of it, right? And with that in mind, oops, one sec. My mouse is bugging a little bit. All right. So with that in mind, I created this feature scaling. So I added some features that would add to the accuracy of the model, because the raw data itself, I feel like is not enough. So I decided to add some by using math. So we can see, for example, reward efficiency. It's by dividing block reward with difficulty. And normalized profitability is created by profitability divided by exchange rate. So it's things like that that help with the accuracy of the model, right? So after that, I put them all in a list so that it would be easier to call in the future, and then put them all here. Like I called them, right? So with that said, I put them, I used a correlation matrix to further see the relationship of the data regarding accuracy. Let me just show you here. As you can see, here's the correlation matrix. So we can see here the correlation of block reward to block reward, which is 100%. The correlation of block reward with difficulty, which is negative 0.02, and so on. So this information was able to let me know which data is better to include and which data is better to exclude. And I also have it plotted here for better visualization, but I'm not going to be showing that today. And after analyzing the data from the correlation matrix, I split the data. So I didn't include all of the things that that was here. I didn't include all of that, but I did include some, right? So these will all be in the X, which are the features. And here we have profitability, which is the target. And we put them into XY so that it's just easier to see. After that, I did the train test split with the random state of 42 and the test size of 0.2, like we were taught. And in running the model, I used a random forest regressor. I used this specifically because random forest regressor uses multiple decision trees in order to predict. So it's more accurate because I think it's going to be more accurate using this because unlike linear regression, there's more, what do you call this? There's more space. um, I don't quite know how to explain it properly, but there's more um, there's more space for the data to breathe, so it's not like compacted because it's not all linear. There's a lot of differences with them, and so by using a random forest regressor, it changes the state. Right. So I moving forward, I ran the program. I ran the algorithm, and then I used mean absolute error, squared error, and root um, mean squared error, along with r squared to give me the accuracy, which is 1 second, which is all here. It duplicated a little bit, but as you can see here, the accuracy looks a bit high, but given what do you call this? But if you were to consider the fact that my data has a lot of high numbers and is always changing constantly, this is one of the lowest you could get it to be, which is pretty much acceptable at this point. So moving forward, we have the GUI interface, right? So before I did the GUI interface, I created a for loop, well, two for loops to put the names, the shortcut names of the cryptocurrency into a list for the dropdown. We'll see that later on down in the code. Now, the next one here, we have a user-defined function. So this is the main thing, right? So what it does is it takes the coin that the user selected in the drop-down list, runs it through the database, and once the button is pressed, the algorithm will run. As you can see here, it will run, and then based on the principal model that we put earlier, it will check the profitability, the predicted profitability. It will predict it with along with the once again. So it will basically take the current profitability of the coin selected and put it across all of these features and predict how profitable it will be in the future, right? So it runs on ideal situations, so the user doesn't actually get to select the different they don't get to set the different features, like they don't get to set the difficulty, they don't get to set the net hash. That's the limit of the model that I have. I wasn't able to do it completely user friendly, right? So the next feature that I added, one feature that I added was selecting two cryptocurrency coins so that the user could compare them side by side, and they wouldn't have to go back and forth, right? So it has the same principle, but it just displays two coins at once. And here's where the GUI is actually located. So I used dot blocks to in order to make it as neat as possible. In my opinion, I used Markdown for the title, for title text, and the drop down here, as you can see in choices, it equals coin names, which is the list of all the tag names. We have the text box for the output of the first and a button here. And then we have the same thing that happens at the bottom here. And then interface.launch so that we can launch. So this is the actual model, right? For example, we're gonna look across, blah, 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 and we think, oh, I wanna check the profitability of Sky. You can press calculate and you can see the selected coin the current difficulty it has, net hash, profitability, which is current, and then predicted profitability. Oops. So as you can see, with ideal variables, it would actually be more profitable. But not everyone will have these ideal situations, which is something that I wish I could work on, but unfortunately, I don't have enough time to do so. But here is an example, by the way, of the other feature. You can see it can show you the, what do you call this? It can show you it side by side, so that you don't have to like keep changing like this or like that. Yes. So that is it. Thank you very much for listening. There was a lot of stutters, but we did it. Thank you very much. Yes. Bye.